to Adam Mockler. It's 3:37 p.m. West Coast time. It's January 9th, 2025. Uh, I go by many handles. Just John Weaver from Rosamond, California, from the armpit of the Antelope Valley, the desert region. How you doing, pal? In the background, it's KTLA, Channel 5. I've been monitoring it for the past almost 3 days. A little sleep here and there. And yeah, out here, we're not seeing it because the winds are not blowing in our direction just yet. We haven't had any major fires that I've heard of just yet. I'm trying to keep track of this stuff, and it's hard as hell. The emotional impact down there is tremendous, but for those who are trying to follow the fire up here, it's just as devastating. Like I've been in Southern California all my life. I'm going to be turning 59 at the end of this month. I've seen too much. I've been through a lot of fires during that time. Not fun. Not fun. Especially when I'm away from the valley. It's been about almost 20 years. Had to move away from the valley because of rent too damn high and no accessible places for three people and three dogs at the time. So we moved out in Palmdale. Moved a few places around in the Antelope Valley. You see the cabin right behind me. I've got a memorial for both my mother and my brother. Death has a way of playing havoc with a person all their life. Ma's been 2013, coming up in February, and my big brother, well, September of 2018. So wonderful months to deal with. Say it sarcastically, but it's not. Yeah, I've been keeping track of the old mushmouth and the trumplicants and old gasbag himself. I heard. Yeah, I've been going thermal on Facebook at this point. They're raising up the politics. They're saying about Mayor Karen Bass of LA that she's known about it from time to time. There's conspiracy theories going on, and I'm just sick and tired of it. We got an emergency situation over here, and it seems like they just want to be whining about everything and pointing fingers and trying to make themselves look big and bad on Facebook. I'll keep blocking them. I just got so sick and tired of one particular posting that I put out there regarding Mount Wilson on fire. Well, it was getting close to it anyway, so I think they're all right. But I don't know. Wilson, have you ever looked into Google Maps? Can I ask a favor from you? I do this to a lot of people. If you would consult the almighty maps of the Google, and in the search engine type out Mount Wilson, California. It'll probably hit the observatory, but it's the towers you probably need to look at. They're not as recent as they are, but they're accurate to a point. Yeah, and we got the hillsides, hidden hills getting torched. I'm watching it. I just woke up from a deeply needed restful sleep because the stress levels are so damn high watching my own valley go up in flames. 38 years living in that place. I grew up there. Born in Downey back in 66. And family moved from Downey over to the San Fernando Valley. We lived out there for 38 years. Little brat, my dog. She probably did something else again, or she's happy that she had some food in her gut. I hope so. I'd seen Southland go up in flames at times, but nothing like this. I knew a lot of places. I traveled a lot with my brother and my family. So some things I know by heart, and others I kept changing places on me. Economics at the time, COVID nightmare, their own personal situations. You lose landmarks left and right. But when you grow up in a valley, like I had, sometimes changes are oblivious until it happens and right on top of you, or they're so gradual you just like, okay, fine, be that way. But in this situation here, Adam, sorry, forgive me. Yeah, I've had a lot. I've seen a lot of the fires happening surrounding in the Southland, up and down the state, mostly in the Southland. This is apocalypse, and it's being perceived on social media as apocalypse. I'm trying to hold it together because I've slept. I had to get my brain calmed down because this is heavy. I'm seeing areas that grew up when I left. Neighborhoods that have been there for a few decades. Hell, we're going to get back to the San Fernando Valley. If you're on Google Maps, please, sir. Widen the shot until you just see the valley in your crosshairs here. In the Northern Territory, in those mountainsides, there wasn't all that much communities in there in that area. Well above Rinaldi. I mean, they had some, but not much. You ever seen the movie E.T.? Back in the 80s, they were filming up in that area. And that was the mountains I remembered, and those are the communities I remembered. But since about 20 years, it's gotten more and more worse. So now they got mandatory vax going.
Boundaries. This could just be the map that hasn't updated yet, but if you take a look at the evacuation order now and how far it has extended down to the 101, we are hearing the evacuation warning has added, let's see, Ingomar Street and Satakoy Street south to Burbank and Valley Circle Boulevard east to Woodlake Street. Those are the specific streets that have added to the existing mandatory evacuation order, which is reflected on the map there.
Oh, no, 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 no,
no. Another drop kill.
Mainly,
what's going on here?
It's just the
All right, as we continue to monitor this fire, let's
Ingomar.
Margaret Stewart, LA Fire Department. Margaret, can you hear us okay?
yes, I can.
What kind of update can you give us?
So we responded to this fire at about 2:30 this afternoon with our initial size up of 50 acres burning southerly direction. We have not only LAFD resources, we're in unified command with LA County and Ventura County Fire. We do not know the number of homes threatened at this time, but we have issued a mandatory evacuation. Our map is available at lfd.org/news. This is called the Kenneth Fire, but I can provide that verbally. So our mandatory is the northern border is Van Noen Street, south to Burbank Boulevard. On the west side is the County Lane Road, which is the LA City border, east to East Valley Circle Boulevard. And LA County is also issuing evacuation warnings in their land that is west and south in the Hidden Hills.
Can you do a quick verification and clarification, rather, on the name of the fire? Kenneth, we heard Kenneth, but we've also heard another word.
It initially came out as a Kenneth, but it's been updated to Kenneth IC.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So this fire is burning pretty much in a historical corridor where we've seen fires rip through here, jump the 101 freeway, and go all the way to the Pacific Ocean. There's got to be a big concern with this thing actually linking up, with a Palisades fire.
Obviously, our efforts right now are to hit it from the air as fast as we can and stop the progress. And we have 28 LAFD fire companies, and I don't know the number of LA County and Ventura County also. so we are bringing everything we have to it.
So basically, we've seen these helicopters coming in here. Do you happen to know how many air resources you're going to be able to bring to this fire? I know last night for the Sunset Fire, it was just an immediate hit.
Right. Well, just LAFD, we have 4 helicopters flying. You can see them right now. And LA County also has helicopters. I just don't know how many they have there right now.
Okay, well, from what we can see, you're doing a pretty good job of hitting this thing pretty hard because that neighborhood Mountain View, it looked like it was in big trouble, and you guys have done a good job of stuffing those flames out as it gets close to the back of that community, especially where that one particular tennis court is.
And any advice for residents?
Right now is follow our evacuation order, please. If you go to lafd.org/news and they click on Kenneth Fire, they can see a map, an interactive map that describes not only the evacuation zone that I gave, but the warning area that is in yellow on the map. And we ask, don't stay, have your go bag, and exit.
Can you give that address again, please?
The website address?
Yes.
LAFD, so as in Los Angeles Fire Department, lafd.org/news. And when you go to that site, you'll actually see 3 different pages, one for each fire we have. So scroll down to the Kenneth Fire.
All right, Margaret Stewart from LA Fire Department. We certainly appreciate the updated information. Again, mandatory evacuation orders for this brush fire in the West Hills are calling this the Kenneth Fire. The big concern here again is that immediate neighborhood where the smoke is blowing over, called Mountain View. Firefighters doing a good job of those water drops, very strategic. Done a great job there, keeping this fire from getting into this neighborhood, Mountain View, as well as possibly jumping the 101 freeway into the larger Calabasas area.
Yeah. And, you know, we're still, again, monitoring some strong gusty winds in that area. Some of those winds gusting up to about 25, 30 miles per hour. And you can see that in some of the live shots that we've shown you in terms of the palm trees moving back and forth pretty rapidly. So, again, still some bursts of Santa Ana's going through there. We do have that red flag warning. It's in place until tomorrow, Friday evening at 6 o'clock, the high wind warning, which includes this particular area.
I don't know where you recite at, mister. Sorry, Adam.
At about 6 o'clock, and as we take a look a little bit earlier on the right-hand side of your screen, that's a little closer to the Los Virgenes Road there in Malibu Canyon, where the smoke is definitely moving through there, and that smoke, Glenn and Lou, all the way to Canaan Road.
Box Canyon, Malibu Canyon, Topanga Canyon, Simi Valley, Porter Ranch, Silmar, Santa Clarita, Valencia, Sunland, Hollywood Hills.
The problem with the Palisades fire, we saw this happening with the Eaton fire as well, is the fire made its way from the west from the east to the west. So it sort of traversed the mountain, if you will. If you were in Pasadena looking up at the San Gabriel Mountains, the Eaton fire and the Eaton Canyon area.
San Gabriel, Los Angeles.
The fire just overnight and throughout the early morning hours traversed in a westerly direction, made its way into Altadena. And with the Palisades fire, we saw the same thing happen.
Simi Valley.
It came out of the Palisades area and began to traverse towards Malibu, went into all those beach houses along PCH, burned them down completely all the way to Malibu proper, and continued to make its way. And to this moment, it's doing so into Topanga Canyon, a lot of those areas up in the Santa Monica mountain range. So these winds are very erratic, and I continue to say this as well. They create their own weather as well. They create their own winds. So it's easy to say, hey, it's moving in this direction for now, but some of these areas, some of these pockets, and these canyons and passes, well, the smoke and the
I don't understand.
fire gets down in there and it creates its own
They don't want to
weather.
understand.
Here's a live look into that Topanga Canyon area.
I know Fear has a way of bringing things out of people.
And unfortunately,
I know me.
this is an area that's
Same thing.
difficult for residents to do any brush clearing. You just can't do that.
unfortunately, some people just couldn't do it anyway.
There's many trees out there that once
We
they
got
heat
so
up,
much burn
they
almost. I
start
can't tell you how many times
especially those eucalyptus
we've
ones
had those things
inside of a lot of these trees. And of
go
course,
up
on the surface, the trees are bone dry, but there you see
with
a lot of
the drought that
limestone.
we've had.
That's why we're seeing that. We're seeing a lot of those oils
We're
that
not
are
seeing
burning.
much moisture in the ground. It dries out the plants.
Live in communities like this, but it's very
But
dangerous.
they don't and never have the budget within the federal, state, or even local to do clearing things up because we're environmentalists as well.
Started to break out, and they were able to start focusing on that. And now this West Hills Kenneth fire is breaking out. It's like cat and mouse. They're like chasing fires constantly.
Well, earlier in the show,
You ever lived in
refer to it, and I
the valley?
use the description as
You know that you're accustomed to things around you.
one, and then another one pops up. You're trying to hit
You
that another
think you're part of the neighborhood,
awful.
part of the people, part of the community,
So stretched.
part of the landscape. You ever heard of
Talked about providing
what was the Starship doing that one?
assets,
You belong to the city.
helicopters, and we're seeing strike teams from Arizona. We saw
Valley was my home.
the Altadena area yesterday from
I lived in portions of it.
they came down. We're seeing folks from San Diego
North Hollywood,
to help, San Francisco.
Arleta,
All the assets are
Granada Hills,
Southern California
what used to be called Sepulveda, but
are happening
changed it to North Hills. I hated that.
that it's hard to catch up.
All right,
Northridge,
let's get back up to Gil Lavis and Sky 5. Gil, what do you have for us here?
Yusita.
Well, Glenn and Lou and Kai, we're between the two fires right now, just south of.
We got signal issues all over the damn place because of the fires interfering with the repeater stations. So everyone's having this breakup signals left and right.
Bit of a turn here, but yeah, the fire has definitely raced
Horseshoe. Terrific.
this is the Mountain View community that you were mentioning here.
My brother and I, for a long while,
See another fire
had explored
city fire going to make a drop on one of the
a lot of places. The valley, we almost knew the major places, so we knew where to go and drive. I was his navigator.
fire helicopters and a Colson helicopter
Smaller streets,
water right behind that hall.
well, we had a Thomas guide, but mostly we knew the majors. We were fine.
Structures are burning.
But I had seen smoke
They're really hitting it hard.
in many areas and surrounding the valley and smoking us out like crazy.
We are having a lot of technical
Trying to
with this.
calm it down.
Let's check back in with Samantha.
I'd seen remarks
Three of you and Gil
on social media, as I said before.
on a map here from CAL FIRE. This includes that evacuation warning for Oak Park, as well as the evacuation orders now that extend down to
It's alive.
and the evacuation
It's alive.
of the neighborhood that was immediately
Oh, thank you, God Almighty, Mount West is still
next to
alive.
the tennis court there, and how incredible to watch those water drops. And I mean, I've been talking with my family and friends today. If only we had had that help a couple nights ago, right? And we just saw how quickly that put out the flames. This is so I know that
I'm
LA
sorry.
Sheriff's Department has now
You have
issued
to-
those mandatory evacuation orders. LA Fire Department, CAL FIRE, all
Anyway,
as we heard, Margaret
when I have
mention,
my eye on my fire
identified
and
to fight
ready to
the
go out to
Kenneth
politics
fire.
right now, it's just,
If I just go back to my emails here, this fire is moving quickly.
I'm sorry.
And the evacuation orders include Van Nuys,
Diary of a
South
Griever named John
County
Weaver
Line
is my
Road
YouTube
East to
channel.
Valley Circle, and the warnings are
Find
Canaan
me.
and